Just need...
What impact will the Supreme Court's decision to strike down the ban on gun bump stocks have? Okay, so, look, I'm not the biggest expert on guns, but I try to understand and not just talk, because that I hear a lot. People who don't know anything about guns and talk about them. I'm trying to limit what I say commensurate to my knowledge, which is not that much. Okay, bump stocks, I understand, are this thing you can attach to a gun, and it basically becomes a machine gun. And a machine gun is illegal in America. So I don't understand how they could make this.
So what's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm still kind of like checking this clip out because it was a pretty good clip between Ana Navarro, Bill Maher, and Charlemagne. I think that Bill Maher is the most reasonable person on the panel because at least Bill Maher tries to understand what we won't use the word that he used. I don't know with YouTube what they are doing anymore with these kind of terms, but we'll just say weapons. And then Bill Maher at least tries to understand the weapons discussion. I'm pretty sure Charlemagne, I'm pretty sure Ana Navarro, they're both going to have an extremely emotional argument about it, extreme, virtue signaling argument about it, and we already know how that's going to go. And I'm pretty sure that Bill Maher will dismantle Ana Navarro and Charlemagne's arguments about our Second Amendment. Why are there any infringements on our Second Amendment? But it's another story for another day. Let's go ahead and get right into the clip.
Legal.
Well, what the majority argued was that it wasn't a machine gun, but if you go on YouTube, anybody, go on YouTube and look at the same gun with a bump stock and without it, and the amount of bullets that can come out of it when it's got the bump stock are immensely increased.
Right.
And so yes. I think it was, Sonia Sotomayor who said it in the dissenting opinion. The consequences are going to be lethal. The consequences are going to be catastrophic. And she said, look, when I see a bird that walks like a duck, looks like a duck, it's a duck. This is a machine gun. Right. Whatever you want to call it.
And
when they are, if Donald Trump thought it was a machine gun, Donald Trump banned this thing. Yeah. I mean, these folks have become the Supreme Court has become so conservative, they're overturning Trump.
Once again, I have to stop this woman because at the end of the day, the Supreme Court doesn't exist to answer to Donald Trump, Ana Navarro. The Supreme Court exists to answer to the Constitution, Ana Navarro. So, yeah, I want constitutionalists in the Supreme Court. I don't care what they look like as long as they answer to the Constitution. And to be honest, the Constitution does not give us any kind of parameter on what kind of weapon a person can have. So it could feel like and look like whatever. There's nothing in the Constitution that says we can't have this.
And yet on the same day, they ruled unanimously for the abortion pill.
No, they didn't. They ruled that they didn't have standing. Yeah. They didn't rule on the issue. But
isn't that essentially saying that?
No. It means that the people who brought the legal action had not suffered any harm. It's like, it's like this audience bringing an action for X, Y, or Z.
And they gave them a roadmap.
I don't buy that argument. I think the law is whatever anybody says they are. It's what they want to rule on, and then they will find a reason. There's a whole fucking wall of books behind them. If you can't find some law in there to back up what you really want to say in your ruling, then you're not a good lawyer. And they do it all the time. Well, so if they, for some reason they wanted to keep...
The difference is, though, that by not ruling on the actual legal issue, that legal issue could come up again if it is brought by folks who do have standing and who can prove that they've somehow been harmed.
But what is the reason why anyone would need a gun to fire that many rounds? I mean...
A mass shooting.
Well, but you can't really give that reason. I'm just saying, what is the reason? What is the rationale? But if you're going into, if you're arguing this in court and you were saying, we really need these bump stocks because, I don't know, my house is being attacked by the North Korean army. Yeah. I need to shoot 1,000 of something when I go out hunting. I don't understand where you even get that rationale.
It would be something involving some type of fear. I don't know what the fear would be, but it would be something involving this person is afraid of something.
Zombies.
Zombies. Okay.
Right.
Goddamn America. We used to be a proper country.
Yeah, we did.
We used to be a proper country.
Yeah, and when we were, they had bigger assistance than what we're talking about now. When we were a proper country, this would have never been a conversation. So again, and Charlemagne has this tick that he does with his mouth. It's like really weird. These leftists are very weird to me. A person can have whatever they want for whatever reason that they want, and guess what? Even okay, fine, you ban it. That doesn't mean that they're not going to have it. I tell people all the time because people are like, oh, in the hood, we need more gun control in the hood because whatever reason they give. And I'm like, the only people who are actually practicing their Second Amendment right appropriately are the people in the hood. Like, I'm quite radical with that Second Amendment because it allows me to be. Like if I lived in a different country, then obviously I couldn't be that radical. But I live in America. And as an American, I have a right to have what I need to have. Well, you don't need to know why I need to have it. But if I have that right under the Second Amendment to have it, then therefore I should have it. That's my business. I don't have to tell you everything that I'm doing. I just don't. I don't know. Why do we go so far from that? Oh, well, bad things have happened. Bad things were going to happen anyway. It just like before I've heard people, like how Charlemagne said in the last clip that I did, it's not the flag that's the problem. Well, that thing doesn't pick itself up and do what it does with it, right? There's a lot of people with arsenal who don't go out acting a fool. And then there's foolish people. And criminals should be put in jail. But why do my rights have to be infringed upon just because there's criminals out there?
There's a flag for that.
Does Hillary Clinton...
Wouldn't it be nice if that was a question on the form?
What?
In addition to asking if you're on drugs while you're buying the gun, why are you buying this gun that can shoot this many people in such a short time? What's your rationale? What's your reason?
Right now, a lot of people, as crazy as it sounds, a lot of people would say Civil War. Like, you would be surprised how many people stop me in the street. I literally had somebody stop me in the street and say to me that regardless of who wins in November, there's going to be a Civil War. And they were dead serious.
Yes.
And this was just like a white guy with some khakis and a polo on. Like, he was serious.
You're right. No, you absolutely hit it on the head. That's what this is about. They think the war is coming, and you're going to need machine guns. Good night, everybody. No, I'm going to...
I mean, but like at the end of the day, that's their business. Didn't I tell you? I knew she was going to say, I should have known this freak was going to say that. Like, oh, well, they should ask, why do you need this? Get out of my life. Get out of my business. You don't need to know why I need anything, right? I don't ask you why you needed those earrings before you bought them, right? But you bought them, didn't you? And now I got to suffer the consequences of the eyesore. No, okay, all jokes aside. Like, I mean, but seriously, like, what is the problem? Why do you need to know, Anna Navarro? Why do you need to know? Like, how dare you ask me any questions? And to me, I got to be careful with what I say. I don't even think it was the Civil War thing that really would be the answer. There's a lot of people in the hood who got a lot going on. And there are good people in the hood who are targeted for being good people in the hood. I don't know the other man's position or what they're going through. I'm not asking them all those kind of private questions. I don't have a right to those questions, not when that Second Amendment stands the way it does. If Anna Navarro feels like she wants to be able to ask these kind of questions and tell people how they need to live their lives, right? Well, go live somewhere where you can do that, right? Go to Cuba or something. Go to dictator. You guys act like you're so afraid of dictatorship when it comes to Trump. Like, oh, he wants to be a dictator. He wants to be taller than dictators, bro. Look what you're asking. Why do you need that weapon? Why do you need that? You're the one. You're the dictators.